What famous person needs to be ignored and shunned into obscurity? Joel Osteen. Making millions preaching a religion that he obviously doesn't follow. So I'm originally from Houston, and I attended Lakewood about 10 years ago because my ex was an active member. We didn't attend on a Sunday as it was very crowded, but Lakewood offers a Wednesday evening service that has like 25% of the crowd, so seating is liberal, and plenty of space. We only went a handful of times because for me, it was more voyeurism, whereas my ex was diehard about Jesus. Part of the service is the collection plates, where you give money, and I shit you not, a woman sat in front of me, opened an envelope, and counted out $500 to place in the collection plate. This woman did not appear well off by any means, and her teenage son sat next to her looked so upset, uneasy about his mom just handing out a wad of cash to the Osteen brand. It disturbed me enough to never return and also to dump the boyfriend. Any religion that convinces people to give up such an amount, when they simply cannot afford, it is toxic and shouldn't exist. I would watch my parents give around $1,000 per week, to their cult-type church. The fun parts were, 1, they had 6 kids and 2, my parents always claimed, we didn't have money for basically anything that we wanted to do. I would watch my dad spend hundreds on guns or gun accessories, but they would split 1 carton of eggnog between all of us around Christmas, but they somehow always found a shit ton of money to give to the church. Kids wearing clothes with holes in them, but yeah, give it to that grifting pastor instead. When I was a kid, I used to watch the last few minutes of his show, before Pokémon came on. He once did a sermon saying it's sinful to tell your children that you're proud of them, because pride is a sin. Even back then, I thought it was ridiculous that he couldn't discern between 2 definitions of pride. Probably intentional on his part regardless. And he only got more abhorrent in the years afterwards. I also would see the last few minutes of his show, before Pokémon as a kid. One morning me and my sister had to get up earlier than usual for some reason. And he was going on and on about money. Comin' to me. Now. Just some wacko prosperity preacher shit, and I still make references to that like 25 years later, because it was so absurd and we both thought it was hysterical. Me and a friend have adapted it for when we're out in the woods hoping to find something like mushrooms. Comin' to me. Now. And shit. And remember. Jesus is Lord. I've never seen a person so obviously consumed by demonic influence. I don't even believe in demons, and I agree with you. Dude, seriously. I'm agnostic and don't associate with any religion, but he is the only person who I can see the devil in his eyes. His eyes make my skin crawl. Like he's a modern-day, toned-down Medusa. The Bible even warns about people like Copeland, beware of false prophets, who come to you in sheep's clothing, but underneath are ravenous wolves. By their fruits you will know them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes, or figs from thistles? Just so, every good tree bears good fruit, and a rotten tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a rotten tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit will be cut down, and thrown into the fire. So by their fruits you will know them. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father in heaven. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? Did we not drive out demons in your name? Did we not do mighty deeds in your name? Then I will declare to them solemnly, I never knew you. Depart from me, you evildoers. The man literally looks like Satan in human flesh. It could not be easier. Jim Bob Duggar. Well shit, I'm already there. No idea who that is. Honestly, that's fine. Don't even worry about it. Just forget you saw this thread and please don't even start down that rabbit hole. Why didn't I listen to you? This guy has 19 children? Jim Bob Duggar, who is the father of Josh Duggar, who was convicted of having child sexual abuse material, and who had previously admitted to his parents that he was sexually abusing young girls when he was 17, 4 of which were his own sisters, and 1 of which was 2 years old at the time. His parents then covered it up, and didn't do anything to protect their own daughters from him. Josh Duggar was also revealed to have an Ashley Madison account during the leak. Yet, of course, they're all raging homophobes, who blame gays for ruining the sanctity of marriage. They're all trash and they should burn edited to update information. Basically all the Duggars really. And all the TLC reality trash bags, Cody Brown doing a good job these days. It's not the Learning Channel anymore, now TLC stands for Terrible Life Choices. I don't watch it anymore. They have to cancel Eugenia Cooney, she is killing herself on camera, and that makes her a role model for plenty of anorectic 12-year-old fangirls. Pro-Ani stuff terrifies me. I can't imagine the damage the community would have done during the heroin chic era of the 90s. Every time I see her name I think, oh, she's still alive. I have the unreasonable hope that she will get help. Didn't know of her, so use the Google. Before, perfectly healthy, wholesome-looking young woman. Now, she's going to die without help, and soon. No more social media, and into a hospital, like immediately. Anorexia is no joke. Too many people die from eating disorders every day not to take it seriously. This is just so disturbing and heartbreaking, and avoidable. Everyone that's a Scientologist TBH. Take this with a grain of salt, but about a month ago, I was bored at work and bouncing around the internet. Stopped on some article on a gossip site, where it said that Prince Charles had to take Andrew into a room, and basically slowly, painfully spell out for him that he was pretty much a pariah, and would never be able to serve in his royal capacities ever again. Couldn't really give a shit about the royals, but the idea that the former troubled scapegoat brother had to take his golden child brother into a room, and basically give him a giant dressing down, and tell him what a disgusting moron he is made me very, very happy. Edit, I'm the worst with run-on sentences. Edit 2, here's a link to the article. Thanks to you/Armuk for finding it. Charles isn't my fave, but I hope that now he's king he can be like, look, Mum protected you, but I won't, you better pull all your head in. And I hope when William is king he can outright be like STFU. Charles has said for years that he wants to trim the fat of the royal family. Basically anyone who isn't directly related, or important enough, doesn't get a handout or title and needs to get a real job. William is probably hoping Andrew dies before that so he doesn't have to deal with him. That family seems to easily live into their 90s with decent health, and access to top-notch healthcare isn't the only reason, it's also familial luck. William's probably stuck with his idiot uncle until William is his 50s-60s. He'll be King William and have to deal with this shit. Didn't like Charles much, but this makes him kinda likable. That shows how awful Andrew is, I guess lol. Someone once said that one of Charles' only redeeming traits is that he hates Prince Andrew more than the rest of us do, and that's saying a lot. James Charles too. He is a predator and a creep. It's infuriating that he's not in jail. He admitted to being attracted to young men, teens, and was exposed by one of his victims trying to get the kid to send him nudes. Multiple other kids came out with evidence exposing him too. This is the one. He's still attending big functions, and whatnot. At least Jeffrey and Shane have kind of shunned themselves. James Charles is like a damn cockroach. Ezra Miller Reddit, given the number of people replying, who? And requiring others to explain who Ezra is, I fear that my comment has succeeded in doing the opposite of what Op asked. Whoops. Forgive me. Damn near everyone I know is better than Ezra. This year in Hawaii, Ezra Miller has attacked at least 2 people. There have been 2 recorded shark attacks this year in Hawaii. 50,50 or greater odds you'll be attacked by the Flash. In the spirit of being different from some of the more obvious answers, R. Kelly thought he was already in obscurity, but apparently he just released a new album. Only heard one line from it, what I think is safe to say the most notable one, and it just reaffirms he can piss all the way off. I fucking hate how acceptable people find R. Kelly. That stuff about him was on public record for years, and even then that documentary only knocked him for as long as people remembered it properly. It's completely fucked that we live in a world where accusations like that fly around, and there's so much uncertainty around them, but then one of the people, who is very clearly guilty, and has been proved as such more than once, seems to get off lightly every time anyone remembers he even did anything. What the hell is wrong with you people? Every famous NA that gets arrested is not Nelson Mandela. Yes, the government conspires to put a lot of innocent black men in jail on fallacious charges. But R. Kelly is not one of those men. We all know the Anna can sing. But what happened to standards? What happened to bare minimums? You a fan of R. Kelly? You want to help R. Kelly? Then get some counseling for R. Kelly, introduce him to some older women. Hide his camcorder. But don't pretend like the man is a hero. And, stop the damn dancing. Act like you got some goddamn sense, people. Damn. through playing round here. Chris Brown. I'll never understand why he's been given a pass by the music community and fans. Besides the obvious ones already stated here, let's go with Joel Osteen. All the prosperity televangelist preachers for that matter. All them are charlatans that prey on the desperation of their flock. I actually went to his church once. I completely see the appeal. It's not gospel in the slightest. It's a motivational speaker with a religious flair. Then they basically have a rock concert for the rest of the service, followed by a segment showing how your donations have gone to help underprivileged communities. All of this, mind you, is taking place in the old Astrodome. Frankly, it's feel-good porn for 2 hours on a Sunday morning. Dude is a charlatan, but the people there know what they are paying for. I don't like prosperity gospel preachers. I cannot respect someone who spends so much effort begging followers to send money to them when they live a life of excess. Didn't we do that when he refused to give people shelter in his church during flooding? Why do we keep allowing him back in? Natalie Portman, Wes Anderson, Harrison Ford, Martin Scorsese, Tilda Swinton, E. Ma Thompson and, less surprising, Harvey Weinstein and Woody Allen all want him pardoned so that he can come back to Hollywood and be treated as a hero. I don't understand how some of these people were big Me Too supporters, but also support Ed Polanski at the same time. Don't forget, Harrison Ford accepted it on his friend Roman Polanski's behalf, and personally delivered it to his friend Roman Polanski, because his friend Roman Polanski couldn't accept it in person, because his friend Roman Polanski anally raped a 13-year-old. The Nikocado Avocado guy, it's honestly for his own sake ATP. He's a YouTuber who started off as a friendly vegan musician, and is now a multi-100-pound mukbanger, who fakes illnesses, starts drama with other creators, and is a heart attack waiting to happen. Edit, guys, me explaining who he is not bringing more attention to his channel. People need to know why we're supposed to be ignoring him, otherwise they're going to go watch his videos and find out for themselves. I'm allowed to answer questions without being called a hypocrite. Edit 2, just adding this in because quite a few people have asked. Mukbang is when you record yourself eating food, in his case a horrendously large amount of it, and post it online. Mukbang honestly doesn't cover it. He literally will eat like 75,000 plus calories in a single sitting. Literally multiple pizzas, gallons worth of ramen, dozens of Subway sandwiches. I don't understand why people like that kind of content. If he keeps eating like he does, he'll end up dying.